I'm Ryan Milton from Team Flex, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Battle of Texas NPC figure, and we're going to look at some of our class winners here, talk about placings, talk about why they landed the way they did, and all of what that means for you as a figure competitor out there trying to do your best on stage. If you're new to my channel, I try to do a lot of reviews and teach you a lot of things that you can take with you to do better on stage yourself, and that's really the goal of the whole channel. So if you enjoyed at any point in time, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and we got a lot more videos coming. All right, so let's get down to it. So only a few figure classes here at this event, which is something we do often see in figure division. You know, depending how many athletes are going to be in there, depending on how many classes you're going to have at that point. Because of that, it's all going to be different every event, right? So some are going to be bigger, some are going to be smaller. So this is 3 of our class winners here, Class A, Class B, and Class C. And we're going to kind of highlight this and talk a little bit about those placings and also criteria for figure for you out there to do better. All right, so first things first, what we can see is out of these 3 athletes, you know, we have a lot of similarities, but also some differences. This is our winner, Kendall here. She wins Class C, and she also wins the overall. So that means she's the winner of this group. She also won her class. Over here, we have Samantha. She is the winner of Class A. And then over here, we have Monica, the winner of Class B. So we can see a lot of similarities and some clear differences. All these athletes greatly do represent figure division, you know, what we would want to see. So let's talk a bit about that. It's going to start with the dramatic V-taper effect, okay? Figure is all about creating this very dramatic V-tapered look, and all 3 of these athletes are going to showcase that taper in just a little bit of a different way, right? So what we can see here is that Kendall has definitely the most developed shoulders on stage. So this is what kind of really starts your upper base in figure division, right? This is what kicks on that size and shows you, okay, here's the start of that V-taper, that width, if you will, right? And she definitely has the most shoulder mass on the stage, very full round delts. That's what you want in figure. You got to make sure you really have these. And, you know, you do actually want bicep and tricep in figure division to kind of be symmetrical to the deltoid, meaning like you don't want to build your shoulders a ton and, you know, have tiny little stick arms. And you alternatively don't want to build your arms so much that it makes your shoulders look smaller, right? So it's really a fine key of getting those groups dialed in together. And she's really got a super solid look there. And with that, you can see the lats from the front. This is another effect that helps you sweep into the waist. So really a big focus on creating that V-taper is going to be lats for all of you out there. And as we can see here, very dramatic, tiny waist effect. Okay, and her posing does help that in this pose, this shot. And keep in mind, I'm just working off poses that we could use here, you know, based on the images. So there's going to be a little bit of a difference here between these 3, but overall you can tell she has a very dramatic V-taper. This pose itself is a very hard pose to pull off for most because it kind of does highlight a lot of weaknesses if you have them. For her, doesn't really have them, right? So it just is a great pose for her, kind of almost like a bragging moment to be like, hey, check this out. Lower body wise, we want to see figure division be perfectly symmetrical, up, down, left, right, and you know, lower and upper, and basically that's exactly what we see here. Her quads really do match in size and shape to her upper body overall, and she's got the perfect conditioning where we can see these separations, these slight separations in the quads here. No deep cuts, no graininess, nothing that is too lean, but it's these separation moments here. And again, just the symmetry. So from the front here, very, very hard to come up with anything that she could be doing better. This is honestly, you know, if she went to nationals, it'd be a very competitive physique even there. And she may be, right? She just did Battle of Texas. Nationals coming up this weekend. Maybe she's there. Who knows? We'll see in the video, I guess. But over here, Samantha, our Class A winner, good size in the delts, good shoulder shape overall. She did actually do wellness, I believe. I did another video that I saw her in, and I believe it was wellness she did. So a little bit of a crossover. That's something you can do at NPC regional events especially. You can go do the crossover, which means you do multiple classes, kind of see how you stack up. So she wins her figure class. I don't remember at this time what she did in wellness, but I believe she was second. And realistically, you know, great physique overall for figure division. Again, a lot of the same markers. We can see that arm development matches the delts. That's what you got to have. good tapering at the waist, and the lat effect. So she wins Class A, but not as much dominance in the upper body, not as much size, not as big in the shoulders and in the lats, and that's a factor, right, for trying to get the overall. Lower body wise, we do balance out quite well. Quad sweep, you can see quad size, maybe a tad tighter in the conditioning in the quads would have favored her in this lineup. Does appear a little bit softer, but again, she was also competing in wellness, so that's a factor where if you want to meet perfect figure condition, that'd actually be too lean for wellness, vice versa, right? So just going to be a factor of that at that point as well. Now, looking over here at Monica, what we can see is good shoulder shape overall. And it really does taper into the waist well. She's a little bit wider in the waist, a little bit less depth in the lat, but still very figure physique in this lineup. Those are the same areas she would want to focus on, right? Drawing in her waist some more, bringing up her lats a bit more, maybe bringing up the delts a bit more, just more muscle, more size. When you're up against Kindle in this lineup, it is, a very competitive class. And this is very competitive class overall. These ladies totally kill this look. A great representation of what figure looks like at this, NPC regional level. Lower body wise for Monica, we can see she's got the good quads shape. Everything's there. Conditioning appears to be on point. Let's take a look at the back though, because figure is always one from the back because we really do get to see the most dramatic of that V taper. So Kendall here, we can see good shoulder shape overall. Bicep and tricep do match nicely. You can't really see the bicep from here, but just proving the point that they match from the front, but triceps matching really well from the back. What she's got going great for her is this lat width, this huge, lat sweep that goes into a very narrow waist look. Most dramatic V taper on stage. That's a huge, huge thing that's very beneficial for you if you are in figure division. She also does have a lot of depth to the back as well, right? Like we can see the rear delts here. We can see the lats and the scaps and the traps all kind of tying together. This is something judges also look for. If you're a figure competitor, you want to work on getting that depth to your lats, not just the width, but also the depth. That three-dimensionality of that muscle is a huge, huge factor for you on stage. You will do better in figure if you have that. Lower body-wise, glutes match very well, quads match very well, hamstrings match very well. Overall, just a very symmetrical physique, but in the back and figure, this pose, what we really want to look at is that V-taper. The most dramatic you can get there, the better. You don't want your lower body to be too distracting, kind of overtaking anything going on in the upper body. Looking over here now at Samantha, we can see she's got a good V taper overall. She just needs more size kind of into the lats and into the shoulders and everything else, especially in this lineup for the overall stand up against Kendall. However, very on par figure physique for an NPC competition. Great physique, wins her class. And you can see lower body, she does have a bit more size in general, right? Like her lower body looks a little bit more dominant here than her upper even in some ways. And again, she's crossed over into wellness, so makes sense at the end of the day. That her lower body is going to be a little bit more developed looking even in that lineup. So now looking over here at Monica, lastly, really what we see is, again, shoulder shapes, everything there, maybe a little bit more adding to the bicep and tricep in her. Physique would be favorable to her, but really it's a lot of more creating some width from the lat, creating a little bit more depth of the lat as well to get a little bit more of an enhanced V tapered look. That would be helpful to her. Lower body looks pretty on par, maybe just a tad more size overall, building more muscle here in the quads, the hamstrings, and the glutes. So that's all going to be favorable for her on stage and would be favorable for you too as well as a figure competitor. So keep in mind, your best figure physique is going to be the one that has the most shape. It's going to be the most dramatic V taper. It's going to be the physique that creates the width, but also the depth of the lats, and then meets conditioning. And really, that's what's going to get you the best placing on stage. So if you guys want more figure videos, can't talk apparently, more figure videos, please comment it down below, and I will bring them up. If you have any specific comps you want, let me know, and I'll put those on. If you want me to review you in your own class at your own competition, bring it up and I'll put you on the channel. All right. Thank you for all watching. I appreciate it. Coach Ryan is out.